It's a perfect way to start the morning. Free practice 3 for Formula 1. And this weekend, we head to the Italian Grand Prix. What a place to be here this week in Monza. And I can tell you this much, we've got some action coming our way. 5.79, 3 kilometres, 3.6 miles, 370.1 kilometres an hour, top speed, 12.5 metres in elevation, and 53 laps coming Sunday, 121.0, the lap record around here. That, my friend, possibly, most likely, has already been beaten. C4, C5, C4, and C3 compound tyres this week. And to be running, hello, welcome. If you've joined the Discord already, which I think there's a link in the community post, I have work in like 3 hours. So it's gonna be this, it's gonna be Fricko, and then I'm done. Then I'm done. But yeah, so that's gonna be probably the biggest problem of the day. 40-degree track temperature. It's 2 degrees cooler than what it was yesterday. That's gonna make a difference? Possibly not. Never know. It could. It could make a difference in the long run. Speaking of long runs, Lando Norris topped FP2 yesterday. Can we see Ferrari? Yes, Ferrari dominate this weekend. Not dominate, but can we see them grab a pole for the first time this year? That would be good. And it would show that there's at least some fight in another team, because McLaren are way too dominant at the moment. And they've just got the sheer pace to grab pole, to grab a win. Unlike it won't do anything in the championship, and it really won't. It really won't do anything in the championship. But it would show that coming to the back end of the season, and maybe in 2026, we might see something different. Of course, Friday practice involved Lewis Hamilton topping FP1, Lando Norris topping FP2. Who will we see top FP3? That's the big question. This man has been dominant in the practice sessions, so I'm expecting him to possibly top FP3. If anything in this session, it would be quite good to see that. I'm going to have to leave some of this to the world feed, just because I have other things to do, and because it's early on in the morning, I need to eat as well. So, plus it's Father's Day, so I'm sitting here streaming. Not good for my reputation. Not good. In the Drivers' Championship, if you missed out on the Dutch Grand Prix, 34 points, or maybe more, 25, 39 points the margin, Oscar Piastri. 37 points the margin, Oscar Piastri to Lando Norris. And then 70 points back. Only 70. Yes, only 70 points back is Max Verstappen. He is in this championship fight. Who would have thought? McLaren have won the Constructors. That is practically done. 324 points to the gap of Ferrari. Are we expecting that to increase? Possibly. Let's head down to Ted Kravitz.
Juan Pablo Montoya is with me again. I do a little opening bit of Juan Pablo. Okay, this is what we do, us pit reporters. Welcome people to Saturday at Monza. Always a very important day. Maybe not as important as somewhere like Zandvoort or even Monaco, but given that it is pretty difficult to overtake around here, not impossible, but slightly difficult given DRS trains and the like, then qualifying tends to be quite important. But are we joined by a car? Finally they make it out, Crofty, but I just want to show you something in terms of a setup change, or a difference rather, between the two McLarens. Lando has gone, for at least for this opening run itself, with the higher downforce front wing. Look at the top element of this front wing, just by that logo, which has soon to become the McLaren title sponsor, and then contrast that with the cutout section, the lower downforce, lower drag. You see, it looks like an already sated shark has taken a small bite out of it. You can see the top flap by that logo. That's the lower drag, lower downforce front wing that Oscar is running. So interesting there that McLaren feel that if they continue with that setup change, that's fine by them. Lando can have a bit more front end going into the corners. Maybe that's something he's been looking for from the car all season. And Oscar is happy to go with the wing that I thought McLaren thought was quicker. And that's the interesting thing. Is it going to be quicker? You would have imagined, wouldn't you? Going to Monza, high speed, low drag. You want the lowest drag wings you can possibly get. Well, that's what Oscar's got, but Lando's chosen a different car.
But we saw Jamie Chadwick yesterday. Just because you've got the low drag wing on and you go fast down the straights doesn't mean you get through the chicanes okay.
No, exactly. These they love downforce. You know, they're so high grip, high down.
Thomas, if you are watching the stream, Thomas, chat is available. Chat is available. It is. It is available. Yes, so you can chat. You can chat. If you are watching the stream, Thomas. But yeah, FP3 is underway. Ooh, wow. I know. It's epic. I know. You don't have to go to Discord. Oh, it's so good. It's so... I'm happy for you. It's an early morning stream. I was so used to Discord already. Oh, I didn't even check the stream. Oh, golly. Well, how is it? How are we going? How are you? Early morning stream. It's like, I don't even know what time it is. It's 7:47 in the morning. Epic. 6 hours of sleep is absolutely amazing. I'm kidding, it's not good. All good, what about you? Yeah, I'm good. Oh, it's so early. Yeah, it is. It's just a tiny bit early. Just a little bit early. But yeah. 2 streams before I go to work. Two streams. This stream and Frecker. I'm going to do half. I'm going to probably do this to about 40 minutes and then 11 p.m. here. Oh, golly. Okay. Well, I made that an hour earlier because it was meant to be 12:30 a.m. 12:30 in the morning. This stream was meant to start. So, rip. 12:30 in the morning. That stream was meant to start for you. Damn. That's absurd. Well, I'm all right so far. Yeah, you can do an Elizabeth and grab coffee. She does that. She does that with the late streams. It's early for her. Oh wait, is it? No, it's only 6 p.m. for her. Wow, she's probably living life. It's only 6 p.m. It'd be like 1 a.m. or midnight. She's probably living life right now. It's only like 6:30 for her. Wow, that would be the life. Oh, anyways, yeah. So we're building up to qualifying for Formula 1. I'll probably do. I don't know when I'll do that. That's gonna be the tricky part. I've got 2 Formula 2 races. I'm still thinking about how I'm going to do this because this has really stuffed me up. This has really stuffed my day up. It's probably at the worst time of the day as well. It's probably at the worst time of the day to have work. Like, oh. Anyways, gotta do what you gotta do. And my brother won't exactly start and then streams for me, won't he? Well, he has done it in the past. He's done it with the CrowdStrike 24 Hours of Spa. He did that for me, but it Well, as long as you're alright, yeah, I'm fine. There's nothing wrong. Really, there's nothing wrong. It's just the work side of things. But yeah, so I'm not completely sure how I'm going to do this. I've got time for two streams. And both of them are going to have to be like halved so I can actually get ready. See, whereas yesterday it was like 3 o'clock. Boom, boom, perfect. I could stream. Today it's 10. Not fun. Anyways, Pierre Gasly starting a lap in FP3, with a bit over 50 minutes to go. A little bit over 50 minutes to go. I was a little bit deep into turn 1 for Pierre. That is perfectly fine, as he will run down and into the Roger chicane. 28-0 that first sector for Pierre Gasly. Hitting both the apex very nicely. Both the apexes there for the chicane into the first Lesmo curve, and then into the second Lesmo. And at the other side, using the ripple strip and getting the car gripped up and getting ready now to hit the chicane, the Variante Ascari. This chicane, dropping 5th gear and making your run now on the exit, using the ripple strip, now opening the corner up on the exit, now getting ready to head into the Parabolica. 5th gear corner, possibly 6th gear if you have the grip under you, and Pierre Gasly now making his run to the line, 8th gear to the line, 123.9. That is about 4 seconds off the pace. I say 4 seconds, I'm not joking when I say 4 seconds off the pace. Yuki Tsunoda purple through the first 2 sectors. Of course, these first few times that we've done today, track is still quite green, 121.7. So not a bad first lap for Yuki Tsunoda. Of course, we have had Formula 3 and Formula 2 for their sprints so far. There is Yuki Tsunoda. There's Yuki Tsunoda fans really cheering him on. This is like the only this is the only Formula 1 session I've done all weekend, and I'm gonna have to like halve it. That is of an annoyance. Not good. Not good. Let's see what Pierre Gasly has done on the exit of the Variante Ascari. And just, yeah, car seems to be understeering. Maybe not the grip he would have wanted. And kicking up. Is that dust? Or is that... I don't even know what that is. That looks like it's fluid coming out the back end of that car. I'm not sure if that's fluid or is there a oil leak inside that car. If there was an oil leak, you'd think there'd be smoke coming out the back end of Pierre Gasly's car. You can know though, fastest time so far, 121.8. Lewis Hamilton, big talking point of the weekend. First in FP1, 20.1. 5th in FP2, 0.19 off that, 20.2 in FP2. So, final practice. I'll probably do qualifying later on, by the way. From 5, I'll probably do qualifying then. Just to give me a good... Yeah, I'll probably do qualifying from 5 o'clock. And then I'll do Formula 2 sprint. From like 7:30 or something. So that's my awesome plan. Lewis Hamilton, a 5-time Italian Grand Prix winner. Last time he won it was back in 2018. Of course, that was before COVID. And funnily enough, we got to run at the Italian Grand Prix 2014, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. And here's a number that will impress you. 2020. In the middle, in the dead middle of COVID, actually. Maybe 2021 was the dead middle of COVID, but the very start of COVID, we were able to run, and Pierre Gasly won that back in 2020. Hello, Nicole. How are you? But yeah, 2021, Daniel Ricciardo won it, and of course the McLaren. 2022, it was dominated by a long time. Indeed, Nicole, it has been quite a long time. I'm good. What about you? I'm good. Yeah, I'm good. Except it's only 7:30 in the morning, and I'm living on 6 hours sleep, but that's perfectly fine. Max Verstappen won it though, 2022 and 2023. So there's some stats. Oh, and Lewis Hamilton's cutting the chicane, and probably not going on with that lap. So maybe not the temperature or the pressure that those hard compound tyres would have wanted, and he will go again next lap. Or unless there's a flat spot on the... Is that medium compound tyre? I think that's the medium tyre on that car. It certainly is. Those tyres don't look... Where's Elizabeth, though? I don't know. Probably enjoying life. Quickly. I'm kidding, no. I was going to say quickly. Banner, she's not here. Unmodder, I'm kidding. Don't. Oscar Piastri looking up into turn 1, completely missing the first apex, completely missing the second apex. Could be. Yep. Could be enjoying life right now. I could be, but I've got streaming to do. I could record Frecker. I could. But then Frecker's too good to record. As we all know, Frecker's too good to record. But last weekend it was interrupted, so I don't know about that. I don't know about that. I mean, did I miss anything? I wasn't here in a while. You missed F1 Academy last weekend. F1 Academy is always good. Apart from that, I don't think you missed much. Just trying to think of what you could have missed. You missed like 3 shirtless streams. LIP. You missed the cable whip challenge that I did. So yeah, you missed quite a bit. I did the cable whip challenge on stream, I know. Thomas was there. He's probably got a clip of it. Somewhere. It's iconic on the stream. Have you? I have. Ooh, yes, I know. I've got that stream privated for that reason. It would probably blow up. I still haven't published that stream. By the way, I don't think anybody's noticed until I've just said that. Why didn't you clip it yourself? Because that's effort. Because that's effort. So yeah, and that was on the European Le Mans stream, so RIP. And then I haven't clipped it. Oh. I thought you said I haven't clipped it yet. Oscar Piastri moves up to 3rd. Isaac Hadjar, what a lap. 120.9, moves himself to 2nd. Yuki Tsunoda, hello. 20.775 to the top of the session. Leclerc, 10th. Hamilton, personal best through the 1st and 2nd sector. Leclerc, 3rd, 3/10 off the pace. Yuki Tsunoda, that lap. I can't access your private videos. That's crazy. Lewis Hamilton moves up to 2nd on the medium compound tyres. 2nd, so not bad. 120.8. I don't know if you heard that. I think I can see only unlisted ones if I like them. That's how YouTube works. Damn. Yuki Tsunoda. I think it's a tailwind in turn 1 from Yuki. I don't know if you heard that, but Callan's being a pussy-wussy right now and banging on his wall because apparently I'm speaking too loudly. I don't think I'm speaking too loudly, to be honest. If he had the guts, he'd come in here and say, shut up. But anyway, yeah, I know. He's being a pussy-wussy because he's not getting 10 hours sleep like he normally does. Oh, well. cry about it all he likes. Because I don't care. I really don't care. I could scream and shout. Just to annoy him. I really would. I would really just scream. Whilst watching on there, probably watching on either Liam Lawson or Isaac Hadger. Watching both drivers, to be honest. Thank you, Fox, for playing ads. You're so kind. Oh, hello. Hello. Yeah. Shut up. Go away. Thank you. Okay. There we go. Just skipped all the ads. Don't mind me. Casually skipping all the ads. Don't mind me casually just skipping, like, all the ads. No, that's perfectly fine. Just skipping all the ads. I think there was a car going straight on. There was. Was there? I don't know. I think I'm schizophrenic. I think I am schizophrenic. Coincidentally, person best through the first sector. Most teams now have gone on to the soft tyres. Max Verstappen has gone into soft tyres. He's gone to the top. Hamilton has also gone to the top. Just beaten by Leclerc. I can't comment. Are you kidding? You should be able to. You should be able to. I think my brother just got up. Oh, well, he didn't get his 10-hour sleep and it's 8 a.m. He practically did. He got 10 hours. What's so bad about that? He's not the one who had to work. So he can shush his big mouth. If he does come in here, I'll tell him to shush his big mouth. He's not the one who bloody had to work. Yeah, he had to go to bloody... Yeah, just... Who can't comment? Elizabeth. Elizabeth apparently can't comment. But Nicole and Thomas can. Can you confirm that, please, Thomas? Can you comment? No, Nicole can comment. Thomas, can you comment? Or is it... Maybe it's for the best. I hope Elizabeth isn't watching the stream right now. I hope she isn't watching the stream. Because that would really suck. That would really suck. Why can't you comment, Elizabeth? What's the fuss? That's strange. Chat's available. I hope she didn't. I hope she isn't watching the stream right now. Do you watch the stream? Oh no. Thomas, why did you hint it? Why? Why have you just done that? George Russell moves to P9, 120.7. That is really tight, actually. Now that I look at it, it's really tight. Now, the two McLarens are P7 and P10. That's a problem. Not showing their awesome super mega pace that they normally would. And they're down in P7 and P10 and possibly doing a few race runs. What is she going to do about it? I don't know. Bro, what happened to the shirtless streamer yesterday? I missed it. Yesterday, that was 2 days ago. That was, yeah, you missed, wait. Oh no, that stream got cancelled. Damn. Steve, that one got cancelled. That one's gone. That one's gone. I thought you meant like that stream of like 2 weeks ago. I was like, oh. I literally sat there and talked. But if you were to miss it, I was literally going to sit there and talk. I was literally going to sit there and yap for 30 minutes and then end stream and... Oh, so it didn't happen. No. But, I was literally, if you were to miss it, I was literally going to sit there and yap for the whole time. So you wouldn't have missed much. You wouldn't have missed much. Leclerc just a bit sideways on the exit of the Parabolica. Not what he would have wanted. That lap would have put him to the top, actually. Or somewhere close to it for Charles Leclerc. 120.0 that lap. 2/10 off is Lewis Hamilton. I'm going to go do something for a minute. I need to go check something. I'm going to hand it over to the world feed. Let them catch up of what I've possibly missed throughout this stream. And I'll probably be back in about 15-20 minutes for possibly the end of the stream.
On board, obviously, with Charles Leclerc at the time. If you want to carry on board with Charles or any of the 20 drivers, you can do so. You need to be on the Sky Sports app with the Sky Sports login. That QR code can help take you there. And also, if you're watching on Sky Stream, Sky Q, Sky Glass, or Now, then you can use the interactive button on your remote control.
For one, practice was 2 a.m. This practice session, by the way, was at like midnight for me. I ain't watching this. I am watching this.
Oh, Michael in Monaco. I don't remember that. He certainly heard something. I think that was the key bit of the message there that he felt. Nico Rosberg is with us as Nico Hulkenberg goes third fastest.
Fair enough, I'm in the UK, lol. Yeah, but this was hours ago, so I was like, why not? I normally do this for the people that watch my streams. These streams happen at like midnight. I live in Australia, so Formula One, the one year that we get, I mean like probably 1 year that we get actual good streams is the Australian Grand Prix. RIP you UK viewers, because you're gonna get 2 a.m. streams, but that's fine. That's fine. 2 a.m. You're gonna have to watch all the practice and qualifying sessions at like 2 a.m. in the morning. That's fine. But yeah, it's literally 1 year round, so you gotta live with it. You know, you gotta take it in while you can. Max Verstappen has just done on 1:19.6. That's a really quick time there from the Red Bull of Max, possibly showing a little bit of pace. We've got halfway through this session, and I've got to go do some things. So it's up to Sky Sports F1.
On the hard tyre, Max has gone straight for the soft tyre. So going for a quali sim straight away, Nico, or do you reckon Max is thinking aggressive, do a little bit like I did in Zandvoort, maybe keep a set of soft tyres for the race and take people by surprise?
I mean, they were seeing yesterday that there's a little bit missing to have a chance, perhaps even at a podium here at the moment. So I think he's really focusing on trying to nail that qualifying, because that's his best chance to then end the race further up.
I love Red Bull's strategy with Max Verstappen last week. Something different to the rest.
They tend to always be a bit like that. They tend to roll the dice, which I like, and they often put Max in some tricky positions, either making him go excessively long on the tyre or giving him an option for an extra stop. But it's good because I think ordinarily they don't have the pace, obviously, to fight on more speed, so they have to try something. And obviously got a bit fortunate last weekend with Lando, but still, they got a second place out of it and it worked for them.
You were watching last week, I'm sure, glued to the screen and watching the coverage. Mr. Rosberg, what were your thoughts when the oil leak happened and Lando retired as a result?
Unfortunately, I was not watching because I was in Disneyland with Mickey Mouse for my daughter's birthday. I definitely watched the whole replay, of course, then the next morning. Because I love watching the races, and it was a very exciting race, I found, yeah. And I mean, what's the most memorable things that happened? That overtake from Charles Leclerc on George Russell into that impossible tight chicane, over the sand, yeah.
Yeah, Max's save.
Incredible one.
Max's save, you're right.
Max's save, turn one. There was so much going on. It was a fantastic race.
So did you know the result before you watched the replay?
I think I kind of did, yeah.
You did?
Yeah, because when I started watching the replay, it started with the last lap, which was not good. That gave it away a little bit.
I think I hate it when that happens. I wouldn't have liked to have been Max Verstappen threading my way through an Esteban Ocon chicane.
That's so awesome. Who was that?
Esteban Ocon.
No way, that's so cool. That's so cool.
Max does not think it was so cool.
That is so cool. Go Esteban. That's what we want to see.
Put yourself in that Red Bull, right, and Esteban Ocon just done that to you. What would you two be saying?
Probably similar words to whatever the non-expletives that Max was just saying then.
stuff you can't repeat in front of Mickey Mouse, yeah?
Absolutely.
But did he need to be doing that? I mean, Max has got past it. Why is Esteban in such a hurry to get past again, or is he just trying to practice for an overtake in a race?
Maybe Esteban was also just about to go on a lap, and he's annoyed that why does Max have to overtake him now here and ruin his lap and Esteban's lap. So he's like, okay, take this, sucker.
would have to be Esteban Ocon though. Those
That
two
was
were
with an
previous.
S, by the way.
Yes, your English is good enough. But yes, Brazil 2018. We're all thinking about that. Isaac Hadjar has been noted for failing to follow the race director's instructions in terms of escape road. So maybe he didn't go through the bollards at the end of this particular straight. By the way, Oscar Piastri was at a reprimand yesterday for leaving the garage too early during the practice session before the session will resume sign came up. So no punishment in terms of affecting his race for that.
Yeah, I think that's definitely, he's gone deep at one of the two chicanes and not followed the right instructions to go through the proper procedure through the corner. I always think, I said this yesterday, I feel like it's worth practicing it properly, because if you do end up out there in the race, at least you know what you've got coming and where you're going and how to do it as quick as possible in a way. I think the procedure here does mean you lose quite a lot of lap time. You can't just cut across the chicane and try and filter your way back in. You end up losing quite a bit, but I just think it's worth trying.
We've got a great feature with Ted Kravitz and Fernando Alonso giving Ted a lift and a hot lap in the Valhalla, which Ted absolutely adored. And he said going into the first chicane how he noticed how tight it was in there. Now, you've obviously been in many Grand Prix here and experienced just how tight it is going into that. It's a proper melee at the start, isn't it?
It's one of the biggest challenges here at this race weekend is that turn one. Because even when you think, okay, I'm all good, then things start bunching up in front and everybody just slows even more. And it's so easy to just hit the back of the guy in front and break your front wing and your weekend is done. We've seen that happen so many times.
So we are dear lights.
Understood. We'll look into it.
Yeah, so we're just looking at Kimi Antonelli here, who once again, yesterday started very fast. We always see flashes of real speed, like we saw it in the race in Zandvoort. He was really quick. He was doing a fantastic race. He started fantastically yesterday in FP1. Was faster than George. But then there's also such an up and down, and then he ended up in the ground attack in FP2. And this at his home race where the pressure is at its highest, because he's becoming a national hero already. And everybody's looking at how is Kimi Antonelli doing, and there's so much attention and expectation on his shoulders. And now to bounce back from the spin yesterday, because it always does dent your confidence ever so slightly. Because he also knows one spin was fine, but if he now does a second one, then it really, and you just think about that, and it's like a negative spiral. And for a young man who's 18, it's certainly not an easy situation.
You have to put into the memory bank moments where you've recovered from it and salvaged a really good weekend, and you're not going to do that as a rookie necessarily in what is only the 16th race weekend. So it's part of the learning process. Let's just have a quick look at Isaac Hadjar, who's going to be investigated by the stewards after the session. So this is the second chicane, and what he should have done was stay to the right of that yellow line.
Yes, but he was committed to the corner and really tried to make the corner until the very end. And then, okay, sometimes that doesn't work out, so he shouldn't get a penalty for that. He couldn't make it back to the yellow line anymore. And until then, he was still thinking to make the corner.
Yeah, I agree. The bollard is so far to the right. Obviously, if you lock up and go straight on straight away, you can commit to it. Where Isaac was, he can't get there unless he turns on back on himself. So ideally, they have a bollard a bit later. He can then get to it maybe, but from where he is,
They should move the entry point to that escape road to make it more realistically feasible if you have a late lockup.
You could argue that he should have come back onto the track a bit later, and he did have a chance to do that, because you're told to stay to the right of that yellow line and come back on to the right of the bollard at the end of that chicane. Going to be investigated by the stewards after this session. Ted, let's head to, just watching there, two Ferraris. Charles Leclerc preparing for a lap, Lewis Hamilton on a lap. Lewis was picking up the toe right into the last possible moment. I'm hoping that Charles knew that he was there, but that was quite close. Ted, down to you.
Yeah, it was quite close. So setups are being settled on down here in the pits. Have a look at brake ducts just being adjusted on Lando Norris's car. He's staying with downforce front wing. Oscar with the lower one. Lewis just made a little tweak to his rear wing as well. But tell us about Jamie Nico. Tell us about the balance between taking downforce off, being quick in the straight, but then tyre wear, tyre graining, tyre performance suffering because the car's moving around in that. Can you lose more time in that in race stints than playing around with downforce levels?
Absolutely, it reminds me a little bit of the ovals in the US in a way. Is you can look like a hero and qualify sometimes with less downforce, and then you've still got to race with it. In this instance, they've got to race with the same rear wing that they qualify with, so there's a little bit of a consideration. I think the trade-off is how efficient their car is with the downforce and the low downforce. If they can still have an efficient car that gives them what they need in the corners, they can trim it out and probably not have too much issues with the tyre degradation. But I think some of the teams will be wondering whether they want to add a little bit on. Know for the race they're going to have a better race car, and also whether they're going to gain more in the few corners that there are at this track.
Lewis Hamilton goes second fastest, 2 and a bit tenths behind Max Verstappen. Verstappen with a 1:19.6 on the soft tyre. Hamilton and Leclerc both running the mediums so far. Albon and Russell on the softs completing that top 5. And we're just having another little look at this moment between Max Verstappen and Esteban Ocon that really did irk Max. He got past Esteban, who decided he was going to get past him again. And then the sound of Nico Hulkenberg says, right, you know what, while you're doing what you're doing, I'm going to zoom past you. Were there any answers here? Yeah, once, twice, Esteban trying to get past and Max is having absolutely none of that. I think they call that payback, right?
I knew that was coming as soon as the onboard came. I knew Max wasn't going to let that one slip.
No, but there Esteban could have been a bit, could have handled that a bit better. Because now he allowed Max to be the winner.
Yeah.
Because he showed Max that, oh, I want to try and get you back again. And then Max closed the door and didn't allow him. That was not so smart.
It's often the case with Max Verstappen, and he ends up the winner at the end of it. He is the man on that one. So 23 and a bit minutes to go here of this session. We're awaiting the final soft tyre runs here. It's Verstappen out in front currently.
How do we choose?
I know. Gemini, my skin's dry but sticky from the heat. What here could help?
Tough combo. I see some serums which hydrate without being too heavy.
What did the Korean
Oh,
local...
you're kidding me. L-ads. Oh, golly, L-ads. I get these goofy ads out of here. Actually.
Session. Lewis Hamilton has been running the mediums too. Alex Albon just put in a third fastest lap of the session on the soft tyre. Alex Albon, who's finished 5th on 4 occasions this season and has the most points for a Williams driver since Valtteri Bottas got 85 points in 2016. That's how good Nico Rosberg's season's been.
Wow, because that Williams in 2016 was a really good car.
Yeah.
Wow, I mean, this points haul from Albon is phenomenal. Really phenomenal.
Sainz has 31 points and Albon has...
You just said it, 65.
No, so he has 16 points. Carlos Sainz, apologies.
Oh.
No, do you know what I've done? I've put the ages of the drivers next to the points tally on the chart, and I just looked up and saw 31 and forgot it was his birthday last Monday. That's what confused me.
That's a rare mistake for you, Coffee. I'm a bit taken aback here.
I'm a Saturday morning doofus.
Yes, big night last night.
I was in bed by 10 o'clock last night.
Okay.
This is what went wrong.
Okay. I'm surprised.
Yeah. It's the pressure of having you in the commentary box. That's what's done it.
I'm sorry.
I'm trying to rise to the occasion and failing miserably, as ever. To be fair. Ferrari's still working on race pace, which obviously is important because that's where you get the points on a Sunday. But They're not leaving themselves much time to come into the garage and...
Well, you saw Jamie, you saw Lando's pace yesterday, no? In Friday practice, no?
I think they might be a bit worried about what they saw yesterday from McLaren, and they know on one lap they might be able to do something. Particularly if they used Lewis in qualifying, which they weren't sort of ruling out. So they know this is where their race is going to be at in the long run pace.
Interestingly, it wasn't the McLarens, it was just Lando Norris, who was miles ahead of Oscar Piastri.
Is that because Oscar had FP1 off and he's just kind of taking a bit more time to get parity? Here's a soft tyre run though for Lando Norris. Nico, take us through.
Yeah, let's watch this. This is going to be fireworks here. I think Lando is going to get stronger now because the pressure is coming off. He's not the outright favorite anymore. So it's going to be interesting to watch him in these next couple of races. Great first sector. A little bit wide on the first apex there, but still nailed it. Here he just carries so much speed and it's absolutely crazy, and use the maximum width on the outside there without going into the sand. This corner is so hard because the inside curve is really like a high curve, and you need to hit it so precisely that if you're 5 centimeters over, you hit that curve, you're bouncing away and off the track very, very hard. And here, braking so deep, so late, carrying so much speed. Wow, he was wide there. I don't know if that was the ideal line. Could be, I think, but some people take that inside curve on the first apex, some people miss it. He completely missed it there. It looked good actually, yeah. But it looked very wide and very fast. Let's see this last corner. Parabolic and nailed it. That McLaren is like on rails. Using the whole track and now cutting back in to shorten the distance to the line. It's not the, he chops back in to shorten the distance to the line and make it quicker to the end of the lap there. Let's see Oscar in a direct head-to-head comparison.
Goes second fastest. Lost a chunk of time, Oscar Piastri, I think, compared to Lando as the lap went on, middle and final sector.
It's like a little bit everywhere, to be honest. Yesterday, he was losing a lot in that last corner in the Parabolica to Lando. I'd be interested, Nico, your thoughts if taking FP1 out in a calendar that has this many races with a driver as experienced now as Oscar, should that affect him still?
Yeah, I mean, it's always a new track, new situation, and if you miss so much running time compared to your teammate, you're going to be at a big disadvantage, yes, and that can easily result in these 2 tenths, because you're playing catch-up, you're on the back foot, then you're playing catch-up, your teammate has had much more laps to kind of fine-tune his setup, figure out his braking points, lines, everything, and build the confidence also. Monza is a track where you really need to build confidence, because it's all in the braking. And the braking here on the low downforce, on the bumps, it's so hard to get that right. And it's something where Lewis Hamilton is absolutely brilliant, for example. It was always difficult for me to match him there. And that's where now Lando will just have that slight edge, and let's see if he can take it through all the way to the end of qualifying.
Pretty decent lap from Isaac Hatcher, puts him third fastest, just ahead of Gabriel Bortoleto, up in fourth, and his teammate Nico Hulkenberg in sixth. Good time to bring in Jonathan Wheatley, team principal at Sauber. Qualifying simulations, I would imagine they've just put a smile on your face, Jonathan.
Good afternoon. Yeah, it's looking a little bit more promising than it was in P3 at Zandvoort.
There is that. What have you had to work on in the sim overnight? What were the deficiencies that needed improvement from yesterday?
I think as always here at Monza, it's about establishing aero level, getting a balance on that aero level, and just making sure you're developing the car and constantly improving it over the weekend. So yeah, things are coming together at the moment. It's early days, but yeah, encouraging.
Looking to this afternoon in qualifying, we've seen Nico struggle a little bit in comparison to Gabby, especially in the last few races. Is there anything with his mindset you think he needs to change, or anything you're going to do differently for this afternoon?
I don't think so. I mean, Nico's a very professional driver. He's been doing this for a long time. He knows what he's doing, and sometimes the run of the green doesn't go with you. I have no doubt whatsoever he'll be qualifying close to Gabby in the very near future.
How much of an impact has Mattia Binotto had in the last months? Has he already been able to implement a lot of his learnings from the past teams that he was at that had an immediate effect on pace?
I think if you have a look in general at the performance increase on the car and the correlation on the tools and just generally the point scoring run that we had recently, I think it's all testament to how much hard work the team has been putting in behind the scenes before I even arrived with the team.
Yeah, which was back in April, and you've not had a bad effect on the team either, to be fair. Going places, nice to see.
I'd rather be lucky than clever, Crofty.
You've made a career out of it, sir. Thank you very much. Jonathan Wheatley with us this weekend. We'll speak to him during qualifying. We know it's going to be tight, but you have less than a second separating the top 14 currently. With Lando Norris with a 1:19.3, only half a second off the lap record. Jamie Chadwick, do we want to reappraise whether that record's going or not?
I reckon you might have something. I mean, cars are just getting quicker and quicker. Even in these regulations where there's not much they can physically do anymore, they're still constantly eking out performance, which is so impressive. I'd like to see it go. I think as the track goes, this is the Temple of Speed.
Yeah.
So I'd like to see the fastest lap of the Temple of Speed.
Can that beat the fastest average speed for a lap also? No, huh?
So,
Not anymore.
So for the race, if we want the fastest race of all time, all we need is an improvement by about 4/10 a lap on what we had last year to do that.
Okay, and in qualifying in terms of one lap?
And in terms of one lap, it's the all-time best lap's a 1:18.8 by Lewis Hamilton in 2020. So 1:18.8 is half a second quicker than what we've got in this practice session at the moment.
Is that then historically the fastest average speed in the history of F1?
It will be the quickest time. I need to work that out. Do you want me to?
I'm shocked, Crofty. I'm shocked. These are the things that I was sure you would know, like, precisely, you know?
These are the things that I didn't think you'd be talking about in practice. But I tell you what,
I'm very sorry.
I'm going to bring Ted Kravitz in while I look it up. How's that sound?
Sounds great.
Love it, Ted.
Great, we're covering all the teams down here. Let's give you what's going on at Mercedes. So George Russell going well, normal program, kind of heading towards that area where they hope he's going to be in podium contention. Certainly a Q3 qualifier and contender maybe for that top 3 in qualifying. Let me reassure you about Kimi Antonelli. That's not representative where you see him at the moment in P18. He did a long run. He went out early, did a long run to make up for the time that he lost after that little mistake, missing most of FP2 yesterday. And that's what he's been doing so far. He's been on the soft tyre on a long run. What we're about to see, he's about to leave the garage now. Russell has actually been sat in the pit box, just with the car on tick-over, strangely. But Antonelli going out now on the soft tyre. Italy expects not only for Ferrari, Crofty, but for Kimi Antonelli. Let's see what he's got.
Yeah, fingers crossed that he can deliver. Right, Nico Rosberg. I'll give you the full facts here. The winning time last year, Charles Leclerc's winning time, was 20.9 seconds outside the record for the fastest ever race run in Formula One. So if we improve that by about 4/10 of a second a lap, that'll be 21 seconds and it will be the quickest ever. Lewis Hamilton's pole time in 2020, the lap record, had an average speed of 164.2 miles an hour. It is the all-time fastest lap in Formula One history. Therefore, if we can beat that, it will be the fastest lap ever.
Awesome. I have a particular connection to that because my father did it in Silverstone in 1985, and he had it for almost 30 years.
That's right.
So that's why it's something that I'm also quite interested in.
Yeah, back in the day though, where you needed some brute force to get a lap like that in. I remember that lap for you. That was mega. Isaac Hadjar, still third fastest. Max Verstappen trying to improve on his P6, which is where he was yesterday. Goes second quickest, just under 2/10 behind Lando Norris. Gets a nod of approval from Jamie Chadwick.
No, it's looking good. I mean, middle sector losing a little bit on himself, but I think we've got Lando Norris on an outback again now, so it'll be interesting to see what their pace is at the end of this session.
Isaac Hadjar, the Putty Prost, who incidentally has taken 14 races, because he didn't start in Australia, to get his first podium in Formula One. Exactly the same as Alain Prost. He took 14 races as well to get his first podium. But confirmation once again that he could be the Red Bull driver to look for in the future.
What a rising star. Just from the get-go, he's just shown incredible speed and also, to some extent, maturity. I mean, if you compare him to some of the other rookies, he's definitely been the one that's just always there, always so rapid, delivering really. And I think the speed, we kind of knew that he was fast, but maybe not this fast. And then also consistency-wise, that wasn't his greatest strength. So he has like over-delivered, I think, to some extent from what we all expected, which is amazing. And wow, what a phenomenal Zandvoort weekend he had. And now again, he's so rapid if you compare to Lawson at the moment.
Yeah.
I mean, he's right up there. He's only a couple of hundredths off Max Verstappen and beating Tsunoda by a lot. Again, you know, it's very great to see. Now the problem comes, Jamie. He's going to get called up to Red Bull Racing. If you were in his shoes, what would you do?
We were talking about this. I think you have to go because you can't not. I think where he's in a fortunate position is he carries a lot of weight. You know, he's performing at the moment. He holds the cards. He's got the stock. Red Bull don't have a direct junior driver performing anything like him to replace him. But I think he's got to go because really next year's going to be a whole different kettle of fish. And if the big team comes calling, it's what's the term? A chalice? Poison chalice. But it might not be for next year. And do you take that risk and hold off and then find the car's actually in a place where he could drive it? It's a really tricky one.
What would you do, Crofty? Last one quickly.
I'd say no thanks. I'll stay at Racing Balls for another year.
And you? What would you do?
I'm with Crofty.
Okay.
Definite no thanks.
But there is that thing, the cars will change for next year and you might be blowing your opportunity. Bortoletto's gone third fastest. Norris didn't improve on his time. Hulkenberg, seventh fastest currently. On board now with Oscar Piastri, who was slightly quicker through the first sector than Lando Norris, but still remains behind his teammate. 10th and a half the gap between the two McLarens. One more question for you. As you watch Kimi Antonelli go through the parabolic.
It's important. Let's just watch the end of this lap because this is a really important one for his weekend overall.
Yeah.
Because he did long runs. This is his first real push lap. That's not bad. That's really good.
10th fastest.
Only 2/10 away from George. That's really good.
On this lap now.
He'll be quicker, but that's a good place to be, and you can build from there.
Yeah, half a second off the pace. The two Ferraris are on their soft tyres. They'll be going for their lap in a moment. Nico, we've got to get rid of you in about a minute's time. So you're going to go and see James Vowles as Russell goes for fastest. Before you go, take us back to 2016 and also put us in the cockpit of Norris and Piastri. They can see their teammates' data. At what stage do you want to show your... Oh, that was a bit wide, Charles Leclerc. At what stage do you want to show your hand during the weekend, and is there a danger that you can show it too early?
No, of course. Wow, that was a big moment for Charles there. He's really pushing. Wow, they're quick this weekend. Look, they're very close to Lando.
Lost that much time either.
No, he stayed pedal to the metal there. And yeah, of course it's part of the game, especially if it's the two of you dominating the weekend. You can hold back a tiny bit in places, right? And maybe the learning that you have, you don't immediately show it to everybody. I mean, it's part of the game. And I'm sure they'll be doing a little bit of that here and there, because it also is not fair if you're the one who's always developing the car for the other just to copy all the time. That's also not good, you know. So I don't know which one is the stronger one in terms of car setup at McLaren at the moment. Do we know that? Fairly even, yeah. Both working hard. Both working
in tandem. Let's just see this moment from Charles Leclerc, who ended up 9th fastest now. Oh, it's the second save of the session.
But that cost you 2/10. That cost him 2/10 because you got such a big snap and then you lose speed. Here now he loses the speed and it just carries all the way down to the braking point. And you're losing all the way down the straight.
Oh, it's a blur on the steering wheel from Fast Hands Charlie once again. Nico, you've got to go. You've got a 5-minute walk to the paddock. You're expected at the back of the Williams garage. James Vowles will be waiting for you.
I had so many more exciting things to discuss.
Well, come back another time. We love you here. Nico Rosberg with us this weekend. Jamie Chadwick will stay in the commentary box. Lewis Hamilton, by the way, finished 6th fastest. Got maybe a little toe towards the end of that lap. I feel to spread out a touch here. I wonder, Esteban Ocon, 20th and last and less than a second behind Lando Norris, but it just feels like it's spread out just that little bit more in terms of some of the top 10 runners.
I think so, but I wonder how many drivers will come in from the session and go, oh, it was a bit messy, it was a bit scrappy, I didn't put it together, and see that they're only, say, 2/10 off and think, oh, I've got potentially that. Charles Leclerc, for example, I don't think I said 2/10, I reckon it could be
Game change.
So I think no one's going to be happy, but that's the thing. You go into qualifying, you have to put it all on the line. You can't make a mistake. You know you'll be rewarded greatly if you manage to get everything out of it, but you make a mistake and you'll also lose so many positions. You're not just losing 1 or 2 positions for a small mistake.
Ollie Behrman won the feature race here at Monza last year, sorry, 2023, the sprint race here last year. And Ollie Behrman's first sector was a 26.7, which is pretty respectable. Now, let's follow him through the rest of this lap, shall we? Into the Lesmos we go.
Some more juice, more speed somehow. Understood?
Does he get that speed from? Where can Ferrari find a bit more pace for Lewis Hamilton? Underneath the old banking into the Ascari chicane, and Ollie Behrman is he stayed well down, 6/10 off here, but I think he's on pace for around about 13-14 by the end of this lap.
Yeah, he's not done any green sectors, but yeah, not a terrible lap for Ollie. It's interesting hearing Lewis say that, because he says he needs more juice, and they can find performance in many ways, but there's always a compromise sometimes along the way. You know, they could lower the ride height, for example, and find themselves, as we've seen, running lower. That gives you more straight line speed, reduces the drag, also can give you more downforce, more efficiency, but then you risk being too low, and what we've seen before, particularly in that front garage. So he's saying we need more speed. They're going to scratch their heads at Ferrari. What's the most efficient and best way that they can extract that speed out of that car?
Alex Albon goes 8th fastest. He's always reached Q3 in each of his 4 qualifying sessions for the Italian Grand Prix. His teammate Carlos Sainz is less than 2 tenths behind him, down in 13th. Charles Leclerc at the moment, right on the bubble, 10th fastest, but we know that he lost time in that moment where the rear tyre went into the gravel at the second Lesmo corner.
Exactly, there's a few more outlaps and another few drivers going to try and get one more lap in here before qualifying. So it'll be interesting to see if they still start to ramp it up. But yeah, Charles Leclerc, I think, actually doesn't look to be in a terrible place if you take out that mistake, but the mistake is part of it as well.
Yeah.
I think that's going to be something we're going to see in qualifying. It's going to massively penalise you if you do have a mistake like that, because it's so close.
On the back foot, Yuki Tsunoda, who is down in 17th at the moment. Franco Colapinto, who's way down in what would be the relegation places if this was Q1. His teammate Pierre Gasly, who by the way has signed a new deal with the Alpine team, has committed his long-term future, extended his contract with them to the end of the 2028 season, which does seem like a very long-term commitment. He must be happy with the direction for the future of that team.
He must be, and I think he'll want a bit of security in knowing where he is for the next few years. It is a long deal, but he must be happy with what he's seeing and the people around him. That team as a whole, we've seen a huge amount of chop and change in the last few years especially, so he must be confident that they're bringing in the right people and he's going to have the right resource, because he won here. He's won a race here. He's not someone that's happy just to be in the midfield his whole rest of his career. He wants to be fighting at the front and getting more opportunities to stand on that podium.
He says, I'm thrilled to be committing my long-term future. I want to be here in years to come and deliver on our joint objectives, which are to win races and world championships. Aim high, folks, aim high.
I think the bigger question is who's going to be in that car alongside him.
Right, a good point. Charles Leclerc, right at the end, to put a smile on the face of the Tifosi, is going absolutely lightning through the first 2 sectors. Max Verstappen improved in the first part of his lap. He crosses the line now and stays 3rd fastest. Charles Leclerc is right behind him, picking up a decent tow. Charles Leclerc from 11th to what would be the front row if this was qualifying, and takes his Ferrari to within 300ths of a second of Lando Norris's time. Now that is worth getting off their backsides and standing up. Come on, the rest of you. Charles Leclerc has just put a Ferrari up there in the top 2.
He's got something smart about showing his waving to the fans.
Okay, I'm going to end this stream. Norris tops the session though, 119.3 over Leclerc, Piastri, Verstappen, being your top 5 as we take a look at a replay of Ollie Behrman. Esteban looked to be sitting right on the apex there, heading into the right-hander. Behrman?
Poor execution.
Yeah.
My teammate sitting on the apex in front one. My love.
Not good at all. We've got Frecker next, so I'm going to be ending this stream starting Frecker. So Frecker next, time for qualifying. But Lando Norris tops FP3. I'll be back in about 2 minutes.